This is part one of a two-part interview with Mr. X. Today's part one is sponsored by Gold Beanie Sports, Top Shelf Insights, and Chemical X Entertainment. We're back with another interview. I'm here with my guest, X, former basketball superstar and former local drug dealer. X, let's start off the interview by saying this. What made you get into basketball?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. What got me into basketball, love of the game, Michael Jordan, and God put something in me that just let me know I could play basketball really good. And I kept getting better and better.
At what time did you realize you were good at basketball in high school and middle school?
I realized I was good in basketball probably around 5th, 6th grade, when I started thinking about dunking and trying to touch the rim in 5th and 6th grade. That's around the time I was like, okay, I'm better than almost every kid around here except for a few, but they were my friends. So, yeah, around 11, 12 years old.
What made you want to stop?
I never wanted to stop. What stopped me was I got to 9th grade and I wasn't properly informed by Bucks County School District up in Bristol about the GPA once you got to high school. And I kind of just said, fuck it, for a couple of classes, and that affected me when I got to 10th grade. Couldn't play.
When you put down the basketball and you picked up the extracurriculars, who got you started with that?
Me. When I was still playing basketball in 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, I was dibbing and dabbling and selling weed and X pills. So it was just like I needed money and hey, this is how you do it. I can't name the guy that introduced me to bagging up some weed, but my first official street job was to be the rider that held the gun just in case the transaction went wrong. That was my first little job. So then I also realized I was a natural at street activity. And then, just kept it going and figured out other ways to make extra money selling different things and went from there.
When you put down the basketball and you picked up the extracurriculars, who got you started with that?
Me. When I was still playing basketball in 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, I was dibbing and dabbling and selling weed and X pills. So it was just like I needed money and hey, this is how you do it. I can't name the guy that introduced me to bagging up some weed, but my first official street job was to be the rider that held the gun just in case the transaction went wrong. That was my first little job. So then I also realized I was a natural at street activity. And then, just kept it going and figured out other ways to make extra money selling different things and went from there.
Every person that deals in something, sells something, has a certain method to the way they do it. What was your method for selling certain products?
Well, my method for selling cocaine was just tell them I got the best shit in town, because a lot of people step on it and cut it. And I learned that was way more time consuming. So instead of doing that, I just left it how it was. And if you got a good source that give you some clean coke, then you're allowed to say that you got the best shit in town. And then you treat it like, customer service work. I'm just selling a product that the community needs or thinks they need, and it's good.
What was your method of the product that you would get? It would be pure, but obviously most people who get certain products, they need to extend that said product. What was your, je ne sais quoi that you would put on your product to possibly, allegedly extend your product out to make a little bit more?
Well, in the beginning, I would use lactose from the health store to cut it down. But like I said, that's a lot of work. And then you have people that shoot up, allegedly. And they shooting up. People that shoot up, they can't use the cut product. So once you figure that out, you stop cutting it, but the stuff still has to be good. So for a while, I was local as far as getting my product. And then it happened. And I started going down south to get my product in the great city of Orlando. And everything got better, a lot better.
As you began to rise with your higher quality product, what was the most amount that you ever picked up from said dealer?
Well, off the rip, I had $350 when I started dealing with this dude, and he told me to keep that. He gave me an ounce. 2 days later, I was driving down to Orlando to get more, but in my mind, I was just getting another ounce. When I got down there were 4 ounces, but I only paid for the one that he had already given me, and I paid for another one. And then he fronted me 3 on top of the one that I bought. So, but the most coke I've ever been around, I did not buy. Nobody bought it. Thank God to Mother Nature. It just washed up on the beach. And one of my partners, a little lady friend, found it and gave it to him. So we had free product to really start off. And that's what really kick-started everything. So originally, it was just a big blessing. And then I wiggled through a few years after that ran out. And then ended up down in Orlando.
What was your process / economics of breaking down the product and how you would sell it in the quantities? What were your quantities?
Now, when you're first starting out, you're trying to make as much money as possible. So let's simple it down for the viewers. So say you get an 8-ball. You're going to break that 8-ball down into half grams to stretch the money. And you would do that I would do that with an ounce. I just kept it at half grams and kept it moving. And I would sell those half grams or 0.4s for $40 or $50. And then I got bored with that and was like, okay, I'm tired of dealing with the user, the junkie, the aggravating ass nigga. So I went on to trying to be the re-up man and just sell to other little dealers.
When you were starting out, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, what were your typical customers? What was the clientele that you had?
My main clientele was bar hoppers. I had a good cover up. I was a bouncer at one of the main bars, And as a bouncer, you're always talking to people and walking around. So it was very easy for me to blend in, give a couple of handshakes. But most of those handshakes were transactions. So a lot of college kids, a lot of drunk people, a lot of bartenders, servers, just people on the bar scene. That was my main, clientele.
When the clientele couldn't pay, what were the methods that they would try to finesse you into, say, giving you some of your product? Or giving them, should I say?
Well, when they couldn't pay, they really could kiss my ass because I wanted the money. So, all right, well, holler at me Friday when you get paid. I'll have something for you. Or a few people, like if I've been dealing with different years and they good on their word, then all right, I let you get this and you pay me whenever you get it. But the females were the trickiest because they gonna try to give you some head, pussy, something. But I never wanted to get into the trick game because then they gonna keep it coming. So it was about the dollar because I was trying to pay rent and child support.
What's the most you ever made in one night?
One night? Working down at the bar, and one night, probably the most was probably like closer to 3 stacks because you gotta realize I only had my cargo pants and 2 pockets, so about 3 stacks off a bomb one night. Most in a single transaction, just a one person, 700. I could have made more, but I got out of the deal into the user. So
At the end of the day, was it worth it?
yes, it was, and I miss it dearly because I was very good at not chasing every dollar. You can't chase every dollar. That's how you get locked up for cell charges. I've never had a cell charge. You cannot chase every dollar, and the aggravating customer, you give them to somebody else that want to be up at 5 in the morning making $50. No, I'm going to sleep on those $50. So, yes, it was worth it because it paid a lot of rent, a lot of bills, and, I was able to do a few things.
Did you ever try your own product?
Yes, I did. And if you listen to Biggie, don't get high off your own supply. Really wasn't my supply because I didn't make it. So, but yeah, I dipped and dabbed here and there with Coke and Molly. Molly, I wasn't a big seller on. That was more for personal use and fun with females. But like Rick James said, cocaine is a hell of a drug. So people that get hooked on cocaine, they probably don't want to go to work. And they probably, I don't know, their life is wrapped around getting high on that and doing whatever they do, probably inside of the home or somebody else's house. Because when you're on that, you get paranoid and you don't want to be around nobody.
As we continue down the path of one man's local life, the question is, Mr. X, do you have a particular story that stands out from the street life? One that you think about every now and then.
I think about words influence people. And when you're close to certain homeboys or homegirls, you don't realize that your words could affect somebody else's life. One night, I'm riding with, we'll call him C. I'm riding with C, and he's like, what do you do when somebody short on the money, but they act like they got all the money before you get there? I said, if it was me, I'd slap the shit out of him. Now, mind you, I have never had to like deal with that because I knew who was going to be short. So that's why I always shorted the price. So if it's a person that probably ain't got 50, I would say, hey, yeah, this it's only $40. But I'm only putting $40 worth in there, making them think it's 50 worth. Trick of the eye. So we pull up to this restaurant. This guy named Pete comes around the corner on a skateboard. He gives C the money. He's $1 short. C gets out of the vehicle and slaps this little white guy off his skateboard. I felt bad because Pete was an ex-coworker. So he's like, come on, man. No, I'm not helping you. But that one sticks out. Baby X is here as well. Do you have something to say, Baby X? Yeah. But another story with C, because that was my right-hand man, would have to be the strip club. You can't spend all your money in a strip club. So I would tell him to leave some money in the car. He would not, and he would mess up his bills. But one night he asked me, could I front him $500 for the next day so his wife wouldn't have nothing to say. Never.
This is all very interesting, Mr. X. What's your message to a young person that's starting out?
To the young people out there, if you're down on your dick and you need some money and you just so happen to have the tools and the cachet and the connections to sell some illegal product, my first thought is move your ass to California and grow some weed or a state like that. But if you just so happen to be in the state of Florida and you got to do your thing, the number one rule is don't get caught. Don't get caught. That's all you got to do. My second word of advice would be go get a second job because you really don't have to sell drugs. Because when you're selling, just like the people are hooked on the product, you get hooked to selling or the product too. And that's never good. But to anybody that got to do their thing, because that's just part of life, when you see no other option, or to the people that just love street life. You've been wanting to be a drug dealer since you was 5 years old because your uncle did it, or your cousin, or the guy next door, or Rodney down the street. Hey, try to find another option to put that energy into, because you probably got the mind of a businessman, and you could turn it into something legal. So, and which I could have did, but in my mind, that would have took too long, and I needed money like yesterday on that day. So I just went to some tools that was instilled in me at a young age and went for the gusto.
What other tales do you have from the street life? What was the bad situation? There's a situation that sticks out with you about the whole skateboarding the dude and giving bad advice. But what's the situation that sticks out that was like a bad situation?
Bad situation is the worst when you have close to death experiences in the street life, because along with going to jail also is you could get killed in the street. And me and my rider, we'll call her Lil Red. We'll call her Lil Red. Me and Lil Red went to go re-up. I had a 380 on me and a 22, and we're leaving. Got the product, trying to get back to the highway, and I noticed a scooter going down every street at the other end until we had to like turn and head towards the scooter, and the scooter just starts shooting. I start shooting out the window and ran out of bullets, and Little Red took my little 22 and hit. I don't know if she hit the shooter, but I know she hit the scooter, and that's what got us up out of there. But that was the worst situation I've ever had. Second worst would be what we call getting ran off on. Getting ran off on is when you have a lapse of judgment. You so comfortable in the street, you think ain't nobody trying to get over on you, when everybody is a shyster. So, and I always had a job while I was hustling. So I'm in the back of the job, dude pulls up. Hey man, can I taste it? I was like, man, you can taste it, snort it, feel it, rub it on your girl, whatever you want to do. So I give him one of the bags. He's, I'm gonna back up right here. He backs up and then just pulls the hell off. That only happened one time, but that sucked because then I had to go to his apartment and fuck his truck up. But besides that, I really didn't have any bad situations because I was low key really, and I wasn't like in the hood. I wasn't like in the street standing on the corner. I was always in the car or in costume, looking regular. So I avoided a lot of crazy like activity, luckily.
I'm going to ask you a close-ended question. Do you believe you were one of the best in your city?
In my world in the city, yes, I was. And for the guys that were like bigger than me in the city, you know, they got their own lane. But as far as what I was doing, there was a lot of other people trying to do it how me and my little team was doing it. But we had a good thing going. But in a city like this, there's a bunch of money being thrown around, bunch of drugs being thrown around. So everybody's doing their own thing in their own way, good or bad, making money or not making money. But I had a nice little run.
How does one develop a good team in this type of lane? What was the criteria that was met?
Well, number one, we'll call one of them Bread. C, those two guys I've known since high school. And when we cranked up, I was like 28. So I had known them like half of my life pretty much. So it was already trust there, and we all had already, you know, been in that life anyway. So you gotta have people you know around you, and then you're gonna meet people that want to be down with you. So you got to test them out, and if they hungry, like if they come in your spot and they see French fries and they, can I please have a French fry? You know that okay, they trying to get this money because they hungry. So I met some hungry people, and then you also got to know how to run the team. You got to know how to manipulate the system within your own team. You got to know how to use your words.
So you would consider yourself the captain of the team?
See, the captain of the team just put a C on his chest. I was more like one of the leaders of the team, or if we're gonna go Native American, I was one of the chiefs in the village type deal. But didn't nobody give me orders, and I didn't give nobody else orders. I just, here you go, money, thank you.
Was it easy or was it difficult? Did you grow into the role of this street life, or was it just, did it come natural?
natural because I learned most of the life surviving skills that I know and still have is from being in the streets. Because when I was growing up, you got sent outside to play. And if you got sent outside to play, you might be playing, but you also observing, learning, hanging out at the basketball court. You see people doing deals. You just learn. Even if you're not a drug dealer, you can still be a street guy. So I was always in the street anyway as a kid. So street activity was very normal to me, like going in the house and having dinner. Very normal.
Are you on the streets? You're retired, but that's from one game. Are you retired from the other game of basketball?
I'm retired from time for basketball. I'll always have a jump shot, but I damn sure can't dunk, and I'm definitely 100 pounds overweight, playing weight. But as far as the love for basketball, that has not gone anywhere, even though I cannot stand looking at today's NBA, but I respect it, but it's just very, very low contact. I grew up throwing Barkley hips and Rodman elbows, so I miss seeing the physical part of basketball. But like with Jordan, they had to protect the asset. He was bringing all the money in, can't have him hurt. So one day I'd like to get in a little men's league and get the jumping.
What else you got for us? The main questions are off the table, but we're here. We're talking. What's on your mind right now?
That's a very good question because I don't know. I'm just chilling, just trying to stay out of jail. The main goal in life, after you've been locked up a few times, is to stay out. Just keep doing what you're doing, feeling like a square, and struggling and surviving, and hopefully good times come. But I don't know. I'm in dad mode these days.
As we can plainly hear.
Oh, shit.
The Philadelphia Eagles season starts Friday. How are we feeling about that?
I'm not too high on it, and I'm not too low. Because we had all the talent in the world last year, but our coaches sucked. Game planning sucked. Scouting the teams every week sucked after week 9. So no, I'm not too excited. I'm a real Eagles fan. All I want them to do is get the damn job done. I don't need you tanking in week 11 and going on a 5-game skid, getting in the playoffs and making Baker Mayfield look like Tom Brady with goddamn Tampa. I expect my Philadelphia Eagles to punch people in the mouth even if you're getting jumped. I don't care if they lose a game. I care if they fight within the game. And Sirianni, he's on the hot seat. He's on the hot seat because you got too many weapons. Saquon Barkley. I'm not hyped on Saquon Barkley. Why I'm not hyped on Saquon Barkley? Simple because he's injury prone. He's going into his 8th damn season. He's had 3 knee injuries, and everybody thinks he's Jesus coming out the tomb. No. Saquon better show up.
Who else on the team are you not feeling too hot on?
Oh, Jalen Hurts. Let's start at the head. Jalen and your little boyfriend, A.J. Brown, who need to keep his damn helmet on because he looked like a spooked monkey. I'm not hyped on either one of them. All the talent in the world, and you're crying on the sideline like a bag of bitches. That's what's going on in my mind when it comes to the Eagles. Who else I'm not hyped up on? The punk-ass defense. You get all the Georgia Bulldogs that ain't nobody got no teeth to bite shit. They ain't biting shit. They want wings now, but they don't want to be an eagle. No. They want to be one of Mike Tyson's pigeons, watch somebody else punch some shit, and you chill in the cage. That's what our defense look like. A bunch of punk-ass pigeons.
Some people would call pigeons street chickens. Is that what we're calling the Philadelphia Eagles defense?
Yeah. Our defense is street chicken. Fuck street chicken. Store chickens. Already plucked, already wrapped up, ready to be deep fried. That's what our defense is, especially the secondary. We ain't had a real safety since Brian Damn Dawkins. Trash. Where's our edge rushers? Where's the penetration? I bet you if they brought a couple of hookers to the locker room, be some penetration going on. But no, on Sunday, on a Thursday, on a Monday, they can't fuck nothing on the field.
Do we have any other rants for the day?
Yeah. Keeping it on sports, Joel Embiid. Trash. Even in his MVP year, the fake African couldn't do shit. Why? Because he's a big bitch. You know what he need to do? His soft ass need to go hang out with Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley, and Dr. J, grow some balls, and punch somebody in the mouth within the confines of the game. Stop being soft shooting all these punk ass threes. If you open, shoot it. But go dunk on a nigga. I can't say, this is a recorded podcast.
That's all the time we have for part 1 of this interview. Join us again for part 2 as we go in more in depth on the subject matter and expand upon the life of Mr. X.